Have you ever seen a picture like this and thought, is that even real? An animal that just casually hangs out on a wall that's almost straight up and down. Well, it is real, and this animal might just be the coolest climber on the planet. This is an ibex, a type of wild goat that lives high up in the mountains. And they do things that just don't seem possible, like climbing up the side of a giant dam just to lick the salt off the stones. It sounds crazy, right? But there's a real reason they do it. Stick around and I'll show you the secrets behind how these animals basically tell gravity to take a hike and why they risk their lives for a salty snack. So what exactly is an ibex? They're part of the goat family, but they are way more extreme than the goats you might see on a farm. You can find different kinds of ibex in the mountains across Europe, Asia, and even northern Africa. The most famous one is probably the Alpine Ibex, living high up in the Alps. Now, their biggest secret, the thing that lets them climb like superheroes, is in their feet. Their hooves are not like horses at all. Think of them like a pair of high-tech climbing shoes. The outside edge of the hoof is super hard and sharp, like the edge of a rock climbing shoe, which lets them dig into tiny little cracks and ledges you can't even see. But the inside of the hoof is soft and rubbery, like the sole of a sneaker. When they step, this soft part squishes down and grips the rock, kind of like a suction cup. This combination gives them an unbelievable grip. But it's not just the feet. Their whole body is built for climbing. They have short, powerful legs packed with muscle, and their center of gravity is low to the ground, which makes them super stable. Imagine trying to walk on a balance beam. You'd probably spread your arms out and crouch down a bit, right? Ibex are naturally built like that, giving them perfect balance on ledges that are barely there. Okay, so they can climb these crazy places, but why? Why would you climb a nearly vertical cliff face where one wrong step means you're gone? It seems like a huge risk for no reason. Are they just daredevils? The answer is actually much simpler, and it all comes down to their diet. See, ibex are herbivores, which means they only eat plants. Their main food is grass and shrubs. But the problem is, this food doesn't have all the minerals and salt their bodies need to stay healthy. And just like we need salt, they need it too, especially for their nerves and muscles to work properly. Up in the mountains, natural salt licks are hard to find, but they have found it in the stones of man-made structures like dams. The Cingino Dam in Italy is a perfect example, where dozens of ibex scale the 160-foot wall just to lick the salt deposits off the stones. One study showed that this craving for minerals is so strong, it's the main reason for these death-defying climbs. Life for an ibex isn't just about climbing for snacks, though. The males, called bucks, and the females, called does, actually live in separate groups for most of the year. The guys hang out with other guys, and the girls and kids have their own herd. The only time they really get together is during the breeding season in the fall. That's when the males have these epic battles, crashing their huge curved horns together to decide who gets to be the boss and win the females. You can even tell how old a male ibex is by counting the rings on his horns, just like the rings on a tree. And the babies, called kids, are just insane. Within just a few days of being born, they are already following their moms up and down these super steep cliffs. They learn to climb almost as soon as they learn to walk. The most mind-blowing proof of their skill and motivation is definitely seeing them on that Cingino Dam. These aren't just gentle slopes. It's a near vertical wall of stone and concrete. The footage is incredible. It shows you that this isn't just something they do for fun. It's a critical part of their survival. They are driven by a biological need that is so powerful it makes them risk everything. It really puts into perspective how amazing nature is, creating an animal perfectly designed to solve a problem in its environment, no matter how extreme it looks to us. So the ibex isn't magical, it's just a master of adaptation. Their incredible climbing ability comes down to their specialized hooves that act like climbing shoes, their powerful and balanced bodies, and a desperate need for salt and minerals they can't get anywhere else. They are a perfect example of how animals evolved to survive in the toughest places on Earth. If you want to see more animals with unbelievable superpowers, make sure to subscribe.